Hello, and welcome to the Old Farm Bus Podcast. This is the back of the bus session.
Shit.
Hello and welcome to the Old Farm Bus, back of the bus sessions. And today I've got an amazing guest. We don't know each other properly. Is this like the first time we've met?
I feel like I've met you briefly, floating around places, but it's always been very
That's how
intense
it's been,
atmosphere.
Little butterflies running
Yeah,
around
yeah,
doing our
just
thing, and then
smiling and saying hi, but never had the chance to sit down and chat.
and I've always really appreciated what you've been up to, though. If it's a musical thing or you've been doing film or whatever you've been doing, it's
Sure.
skating, isn't it, as well? You
Yeah,
do.
we skate. Yeah, I skate.
I'm gonna because honestly, guys, I'm gonna find out a lot because I've not even wrote my list down today. I've just like I'm not saying I'm not prepared. I'm prepared, but I've just like wanted to meet you as if we were just meeting anyway. So
yeah, of course.
welcome, John. Oh no, mate, your girlfriend's not on, but we're gonna have like a proper
She's trying to get out
reaction
of the
then.
fence still.
We were
She's
gonna
back.
first time ever. We're gonna have a crowd reaction, but yeah, maybe we'll get it in a minute. But welcome, Jonjo. So hello, matey. How are we doing?
Yeah, man, chilling.
You
I'm feeling good.
you came today in. Is that your house? Would you call it?
Yeah, that's my house.
So you're travelling around in what sort of van is it? What like?
It's a LDV Maxus. It's like a high top. It's
When did you get that?
we got it January. It
Okay.
was kind of a last minute decision, like with the whole Brexit thing, and like we was like we need to get a van in it and shit and get out of here quick and get it done on the cheap and
So legitimately, you were sort of feeling a bit uproared with the politics. You weren't sure what's going on,
Yeah.
and then you were like, right, van time.
yeah, we
Enough
was.
people like this.
It's because we was gonna move back to Nottingham, and we moved out of Nottingham. Me and my girlfriend was living there I was living there for about 4 or 5 years. She
Mhm.
was living there for about 3 years.
Mm.
And then we moved out to try and find a nice place together, and then that place fell through.
So where were you before Nottingham then? Where was
I was living in South Normanton,
right? So
literally.
we were
kind
really
of up the road
close,
from
man.
here. Yeah, literally. I grew up, born in Codden actually, or even pretty closer to here.
Even close. We get
Yeah,
stars
true.
align. How
Yeah.
old are you, dude?
24, yeah.
27.
Yeah, true.
So we were around, man.
What school did you go to?
Ripley Juniors was my primary school, and then Mill
Yeah.
Hill was my.
Yeah, I went to Mill Hill, bro.
You did. I told you guys. I told you.
Bro,
It was
crazy
all gonna
shit.
happen.
What the fuck?
So, oh, mate, we can really get in then here.
trust.
I love the genuine reaction to what just happened because that's made my heart sort of just explode.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd obviously seen you around school then. I must have done.
Wicked. Look, so therefore you would have been like 2 years below then, 24, 27, 24, 25,
2 or 3 years.
2 or
I
3
think
years below.
I can't remember what
We're
year
gonna
I
have a
left.
few reference points here, man. Who was the head teacher? Mrs. Graham.
Yeah, that bitch.
Oh, she was mad, wasn't she? That do you know, like
Tory as
in
hell.
films, where do you watch Harry Potter ever?
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
Harry Potter. Do you know when you've got like Gryffindor and Slytherin? She was like the archetypal Slytherin head teacher to come in and just be like, it's dominance we need, it's anger, it's assertiveness, and she
Yeah.
just came in and sort of stampeded over everything.
Shut everything down, didn't she, bro? She killed it for everyone. Turned the whole place dead.
And when they were like, let's get rid of the creativity, because it's an art school generally,
And
and then
no funding in the music at all.
they started to like take bits away and really repress it.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
what sort of experience did you have then from going to Mill Hill? Because I speak about on this podcast quite a lot, like quite openly about education. I
Yeah.
think it's crafted a lot of who I am, but I learnt nothing from school, in honesty.
Yeah.
Like the things I really needed outside of school, to build a business, to be in music, to do these things, I needed confidence.
Of course.
I needed like abilities that just weren't given at school. Did you do all your learning outside of it, or do you think school give you anything?
No, school. I think school, I was just there to be mischievous, like, just experiment and have fun. Like, I didn't really take any of it seriously. I
Yeah.
had parents that kind of wanted me to take it seriously,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I always knew from a young age that I started playing drums from like the age of like year 6 maybe.
Okay.
So I was always like, I need to do music, so I'm at school just to like occupy the time.
And were your parents quite open to that as well? Like, did they
was open
understand
to
you?
that, yeah. I did drum lessons, and they was all like, "Yo, you need to do your grades and stuff like that." And I did eventually get in a band a little bit older, and
Okay.
they pushed it and stuff like that. So luckily they understood. But I think further down the line when I was doing this and I wasn't seeing big bucks of cash coming in and shit like that, they kind of eventually was like, come on, you need to get some money, you need to get a real job.
Yeah, real
Nah.
job, baby.
But nah, the scene.
Change.
I think since I moved out to Nottingham, got way more independence, and the scene what I'm doing, and
Yeah.
been able to travel the world and get stuff paid for and play shows all over the place. I've seen that I can do it, so I think that,
So the fact I haven't got my list with me here, but I know there's so much about you. Like, so if I had my list, I would have said music, I would have said filmmaking, traveling. What other elements do you think I've missed out on this? Because I know you've got quite a lot.
not massively filmmaking. It's not a passion or anything. Like, it's more I ain't got someone there to do it for
But
me,
you have
so I'm
got,
gonna have to
like,
do it. But
as a filmmaker, like, you've got a really good knack to it. Like, your
Yeah.
looks are very vintage, retro.
yeah,
It looks good when you do it.
Yeah, I get you. It's just a burden in my head. I'm like, oh my god, all that. No, like it's more down to the data management. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I usually work with audio. Look at this visual. Oh my
Yeah.
god, there's like 60 gigs worth here. Oh god. But, no, to be fair, I do a lot of skateboarding's a lot. Skateboarding's something I'm not like, yo, I'm amazing at it. Like I want to be pro. It's more like I've just done it from such a young age, and I've accepted what level I am.
Mm.
It's more, it just brings people together in a culture that reflects art as well.
Could you like compete with it? Do you think you're at that level, like, or people that
Nah.
are at that level? I listened to a podcast. Funny enough, it was Joe Rogan one,
Yeah,
but he
yeah.
had Tony Hawk on recently, and just him like describing the scene and describing like the skating world. I couldn't believe how in depth it was, and it does because as Frankie Bones as well, like Giuseppe.
Giuseppe, yeah.
All that
It's,
crowd, I
it-
follow it, and I'm like, blimey, I didn't know there was. It's another.
yeah, man, it's the same world. Literally, like Snanton Market. I used to live in Nottingham. That's the home ground of where all the skaters go,
Okay.
and you could just go down there anytime. Someone will be there. People sleep there. People will just be there every day, chilling. Like it's
Is
a
it
family
quite-
down there.
Quite an open community, quite accepting and
Yeah, if you're on a board, or even if you're not on a board, if you literally want to chat and you just kind of want to get out, people will chat to you. Like we get all sorts of people come down there, like, all people smoking crack, spice, everything. Like
Walks
we'll
of
still
life.
accept them. They
Yeah.
can come with us if they're not causing any shit.
yeah,
They come
yeah.
there to come chill with us. Like we all there chilling. Like
Because it's again one of the. I've never been a part of a clique, to be honest. And I think
Yeah.
that's something I've always sort of missed out on. I liked it, like, even when I used to be with the football lads and
Yeah.
things. It's like I like being in with a chance and that.
yeah.
But I was never fully in. So when I see the skaters in Snanton Market and stuff, I always like envy it a little bit. I walk past, I'm like, oh, that'd be quite nice. Do a kickflip to you, mate.
Yeah, I had it when I was young. Like obviously I grew up around Ripley, so
Yeah.
I went to Ripley skate park every day. Like, on the
Right.
skateboard for years.
That's where I didn't see you, because that's probably the one place in Ripley I didn't go.
Yeah, I'd grow up there in it, and then like after a bit, I went on the bike, so I scrapped the board, and then I think obviously when I was younger, we had that proper community there. There's so many skaters of us and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And then when I would go to college and stuff, everyone stopped skating. So skating was something I kind of had and ah, I'd come out of it, I go back to it, but because it was just me going to do it on my own.
Right.
As soon as I kind of moved to Nottingham, I seen there's a whole community there. It was like,
Mm.
yo, I feel like I'm a youth now. I can go back to my old days. I can just have fun, and I'm an adult now, so I've still got to do this professionally and kind of make music and not just bum there all day.
So when you get into the music scene, was that you were playing drums? Was that like a rock band?
Yeah, it's like an indie band from Ripley.
Indie. Who was in that? Because I probably know.
Jack Burton.
Yeah, I know Jack Burton.
Yeah, Tom Buzzertil.
Tom's been
Okapi.
watching these podcasts. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
what was Tom playing?
Bass.
I've been wanting to get Tom down, to be honest, to the
Yeah,
podcast,
yeah.
because again, somebody from very similar backgrounds, but we all grew up so differently.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
like to work out where like people grow up in the same environments but have such different philosophies.
Yeah.
I'm inspired by it. I like to see difference, I suppose.
Yeah,
so
like Bergs, like Jack.
Yeah.
He kind of just floated off. Like I'd not seen him ever since I kind of left Ripley. Ever since I left school, I didn't come back to Ripley. I kind of went
Okay.
straight to Nottingham College, Confetti, and just stopped there. And then went to
Ah.
college. Then I went uni, and then I heard Bergs obviously moved to Australia,
yeah.
and then he just moved back into Nottingham.
Doing
and
quite well now, isn't he? Is he in a band?
yeah,
Is it quite
Sancho Pancha. Yeah.
awesome. And what about Tom? Is he still
Uh,
performing?
Yeah, I don't think he's performing. He might be playing bass or guitar. I know he's a
Bedroom
big fan of
bass
playing
star.
stuff. I know, like, him and some of my boys, George and stuff from Ripley, they like to go around and have a jam every now and then.
I love that I've met you, man. Honestly, like, to get in this, like, world of, like,
It is.
you are Ripley. No,
Ripley.
Did you notice any, because obviously Ripley's got quite a name for itself as well, and it got a hard face, like people from Ilkeston, Hena, them sort of areas, it's like known for like EDL, hate, like all these areas, and there were elements that I've seen of it, and I can't like hide that, but I've also had some really amazing times in this area.
Yeah, of course. It's like,
what was your verdict? What was your like opinion of Ripley, and what's your verdict of it?
it is like, it's so adapted quite a bit now. Like, I've not been back properly and been to the culture of Ripley for like a long time, so I don't know where it's at now. But from the people I've seen there, they've definitely kind of stepped up. Some people, but as a kid there, it was more just fun and playing and stuff.
Yeah.
And
I think what people want is areas to just be perfect, archetypal,
yeah,
like Whoville or something all the time. And it's like, I think we're just always evolving. We're slow. People forget, like, 100 years ago, which is only one person old,
yeah,
like, we were very different back then.
crazy different.
And I'm not to get too deep, but in grand scheme of how old, say, humanity might be, I think we're doing good steps. And when I see Facebook at the minute, when I see like people really like biting each other and just fighting, and we're like, you're wrong, no, you're wrong. It's like, you know what, guys? We're going to be all right.
Yeah,
we're just growing.
You got to wait. Like, this thing will ride out, and it's going the right way. More people are starting to realise about the whole racism, about kind of equality and just general everything.
And it is good these conversations are constantly cropping up. And even in Ripley, like, you wouldn't expect it, but I've had so many meaningful, quite deep conversations just walking, because I put my face on the internet. People are like, are you that guy? But we have a conversation like, I've either not thought of it that way, or they try and go, have you thought of this? And we'll just chat.
Of course.
And
like,
even that's important.
Like, I don't know, there's people, I'll be honest, when I was younger, just because I was brought up in a town like Ripley, I wasn't really exposed to any other cultures, like, apart from maybe like a friend who was Muslim that had a family that I'd go visit and stuff. And I would be pretty racist as a little kid and stuff like that, because I was just not exposed to it. I was uneducated about it. But like, as soon as I'd go to college in Nottingham and stuff like that, and understand, like, and I'd meet bands from other countries, and I'd be like, oh my god, like, this band's from this country, I'd be more intrigued to want to know about it, and then grow off that. And then traveling the world, I was like even more intrigued about that. It kind of just it doesn't just switch, but over time you're just like, this is stupid, man. Like, why have people got that mindset? It's like, because you've not been out the world and experienced it. Literally, that's all it is. And
like, people coming into our culture as well, it's perfect that, like, Ripley again, you'd be younger and you wouldn't see, like, you'd only see white people, to be honest. That was all I knew.
At school and stuff, there was very small minority.
And I go downtown now, and there is more people around, and it's quite beautiful to see, because when people are in the same environments together, they're like, oh, this is actually quite pleasant. We're having like different conversation rather than what you had for tea last night. And
of course, It's like, there's people at school that I've not even seen for years, and I put something, a post up about racism the other day and stuff, because I went to the rally, the Black Lives Matter rally and stuff, and there's people I've not seen for years in school that I thought maybe they're still pretty fucking hidden closet racist and shit. And they're all liking my posts and supporting me and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's like mad to see that I've not seen you in like, what, like 7 years or something, and you're like on board with it, and I'm like, yo, like, it's good on you, innit? Like, sick. Like, numerous of people that like didn't even know you followed me, and they're like, you ain't like to post in like 5 years, innit? Like, what you on with?
I think that's quite an interesting thing I've been finding out recently. Like, on social media, I use it as sort of a promotional tool, to be honest. I try and tune out a little bit. I'm like, here's a piece of me, I'm gone.
Trust me, sometimes.
But I wrote a status today, and I was just looking down it, and the negativity that I did see, when it's people, again, they're fighting for the same cause, they've got a similar belief, but they argue on the semantics of things now.
And it's not actually the key, it's not actually the root thing. They're arguing about something that's rooted out, and it
takes away from what is, and it's like, okay, like, can we just establish we're good people fighting on the same team? Let's let's just put, for example, the George Floyd incident. that was terrible and that exposed a lot of like really important issues.
Yeah.
Let's all just fight against that, and if everyone's got their gun in the same direction, pointing it where it should be, a lot more will be achieved.
Yeah, of course.
He's got a gun over here going there.
But that's where the media come in, and that's where it's brainwashing propaganda
Yeah.
thrown everywhere, and that's what happens when people have got big money and.
And you're a lyric writer. I've heard a.
Yeah.
You know, you do write. Do you
Yeah.
write quite a lot of lyrics?
I write all my lyrics and stuff, and I'm releasing a lot more.
Does that come into how you write? Do you like politics, or do you actually have a brain full of it? You're like, actually, I'll try and write
it
about
depends
some
what mood
other-
I'm in. Like, so I got like 3 sort of different mindsets and like probably egos in a sense when I write.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll just be writing like I want to just big myself up confidence track. It's like, yo, this and that, like that.
Man.
And that kind of comes out on like every now and then. Like, it's not like I'll do this in the space of like 3 songs in the space of a week.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be like, yo, I'll do this. Ego will come in like in the space of like a year
Yeah,
throughout like
yeah,
4
yeah.
songs, and then like in between that I'll have one that's like a really sad boy and it's feeling really emotional and just wants to
Yeah.
get his emotion out and stuff like that. And then like there's another one that's shit, I just lost it. Which was the one? So I got the sad boy.
Sad boy, big.
I got the
big
big
meal.
man. Oh, and I've got the guy that just gets really angry at the government
Yeah.
and racist.
Everybody's
Back to
got
where
him.
we was. And then it's just literally just like, yo, brainwashing propaganda.
Yeah.
Like just shouting that everything.
Let's go into them a little bit though, like, because so say you've got the big one that bigs you up.
Yeah.
That's quite ripe in hip hop and rap and art. Where do you think that's come from? Do you know much about the history? Because the bigging yourself up, like, I've never been able to go down that road. Maybe I've either psychoanalyzed that I don't like
Yeah.
myself very much, or I just always felt uncomfortable in that position.
Yeah, I feel like before, if I was to ever be a solo artist before I was in like a band or anything, I think I probably wouldn't have the confidence for it.
Mhm.
Like, all honestly, I think because I've been in bands over the years,
Yeah,
like numerous
that's
bands. I've been in like hardcore bands as well, where I've literally had to go to shows. I'm jumping off the stage, like punching people, and going crazy.
I'm getting envious again.
Yeah, so like I grew up in the hardcore punk scene as well. So
Wow.
I'd go to like
You've
the
lived a
hardcore
life,
shows.
brother.
I kind of floated through many genres and been through different hardcore bands and
Yeah.
stuff, and had friends who were like in huge hardcore bands. And
What do you prefer as well? What's sort of like your avenue that you've landed on and thought, oh, that's where my soul's at?
I don't know, because if you're in the hardcore scene, there is kind of some crosses from that to like sort of UK emo grunge.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the other scene. I went from hardcore. I went from indie to like hardcore, and then to UK emo grunge.
Okay.
And the hardcore scene kind of floats with it. You can kind of go to a lot of shows and there'll be mixed genres. There'll be like, you'll have like some sort of sad emo bands mixed with hardcore punk bands where 1 minute you want to cry, the next minute you want to jump off the stage and punch someone.
Going mad.
Yeah, like literally, it's all done DIY. I think that's the genre that really took me in, because it's like DIY punk emo. All the pages, if you search for them, it's DIY punk emo page.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm gonna
that's
have to get on this later. I'm gonna be
And
seriously
the
getting into it.
Trust, bro, the mentality you see from bands putting in, like, it's nothing like you see around here. Like, these guys are like 3 or 4 guys from like Singapore, let's say, for an example,
Yeah.
with me. They're like, oh, we want to go play the UK. We love the UK. It's like they'll just chat to me or something. They'll just make friends on this group and be like, can you book me a show here?
Wow.
And then I'd like rep them or something and help book all the shows for them and stuff like that.
Wow.
They came over, we did that. They just paid for the merch. They did all DIY. We booked all the shows independently. Did everything ourselves. All the promo ourselves.
This is awesome.
And then from that, I literally flipped it, and then they did that with me and Alex, and we flew out to Singapore, and they booked shows for me.
Now, yeah.
So that, like,
What were
that's-
you performing there then?
I was as a live band, so I played keyboard and guitar, and we had a bass player as well, and we had Wes on the drums, and Alex had just beatbox and obviously his vocals as well.
I just love that music's been able to take you around to that level and make them connections. When they say it's universal, I never really understood it until actually getting into it, because I kind of liked music. My story's a bit different. Like, being in Ripley, it was more the lads scene I was in.
Of course, yeah. That's
Ripley, Regal bopping.
I had to get out before that. I think that's luckily I had my drums. My drums is like my passion.
Right, yeah, I needed a passion. That is absolute key, because I never had one, truthfully.
Yeah.
And then I went travelling, so I did like a year in Australia.
Oh, sick.
I did a year in South Africa, and I went away, and that was where my actual learning come from. And then I know I might heard this story a few times, but I'll tell it to you. Like, I got a friend of mine in Derby.
Yeah.
I'd heard he got stabbed and something terrible happened there. I rang my dad called me actually and was just like reeling off a load of things that had gone wrong back home, and I was just like, fucking hell.
Is this why you was out there then?
Well, I was out there, yeah. I remember getting this call from my dad, and he just told me about quite a lot of negative things, and he's not a very negative man. But all my life I was told, don't get into like writing because you're dyslexic, stupid. Mill Hill fed me with quite a lot of lies.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I then one day just started writing as much as I could, and it was like beautiful. I was like, fucking hell, this is amazing. I was like Dora the Explorer with a pen.
Man, I've always told yourself, you got to just do whatever the fuck you want to do, and if anyone judges you, just if you're feeling good doing it, man, just do it. You're doing
it right for you.
Yeah, of course.
So I came home with a passion, and it was actually like, a poetry. And I had a lot of mates take the piss out of me and whatnot, because you're going to get it.
Of course, from around here.
But I did me then. I was like, this is what I want. So that then unlocked and opened the doors to meet the Nottingham Heads and Motormouth. I was like, oh, God, there's another world. I was lied to. I thought there was this one way of doing it. And it just was quite open in how open the music scene was. I was like, bloody hell, they're just so accepting. They're like, whatever I'm performing, whatever I'm doing, they're like, oh man, you're on your journey, let's do it together.
They'll support you.
And it really felt like that. I'd never felt it before. So is that something you feel quite lucky and privileged to have gone down that line quite early on?
Yeah.
I would have been like your age when I actually got into it.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Music and especially skateboarding, because I started skateboarding about the same time, but I think skateboarding, I met a lot of people of different cultures and stuff. That's what kind of opened my mind, and I'd get the trains as a kid just to the different places all around the UK and go to London, wherever, go skate with all my friends.
Right, okay.
And then I think as I got a bit older, I started doing a lot more gigging outside of Derbyshire. I think as you're just gigging around Derbyshire, you still don't really get to experience the different culture, let's be honest, because you're playing just a little pub down the road, aren't you?
Where would you go in Derby? What, like?
I'd go to like the Vic, Mansfield,
Chrissy,
Intake.
Used to live at the Vic for about 12 years as well, so you probably knew Chrissy at the time. Yeah, she was there for a long time living there. It's crazy. I just seeing how the stars align. I'm like, this is cool.
That's such a sick venue. I've seen so many good bands there.
Yeah, small, like little humble, but like brings in like really good crowds.
Like there's so many of them. Like the Intake in Mansfield as well. Out of Town at Ripley. Like the mad gigs that's been there.
Do you know like Joe Burke and all that? Like, do you know Boris and the Space Cadets?
Yeah, I've
you
heard
met
of
them guys?
I don't think I've met, maybe in the past, but I've heard of them.
Again, they're just somebody in my year that like I was good friends with, but never connected. And then when I got into the music scene, I was like, oh, you've been doing this all along. Like, oh, sick. Why didn't you tell me about this?
You should have given me a heads up.
Didn't know it's so open. So let's get on to a little bit of like your travels at the minute as well, because you're wanting to go to Europe, go and do your drops off and things, and your plan was to go to festivals and go around as a solo artist, was it?
Yeah, I was just literally going to hit up house shows, festivals, everything, and just was planning a route around to do the whole Europe, but we was meant to have gone originally from March, and like COVID hit, so like the whole of that, I've had to stop it because I don't know when gigs are going to happen. So
have you kept up your musicality side though while COVID's been on?
Of course, I've had to sit in and just I've been moving around houses as well, so it's been hard, and living in the van as well, but wherever I am, I'm trying to on my laptop or
when you're living like at your parents at the minute.
I wasn't my parents, they sold the house, so I'm having to live with my grandparents now.
And but are you living in the van or
in the van at the bottom of the garden?
Love it. Is it spacious in the van? Like, I'll come and see it.
Yeah, man, you have to come and see. Well, obviously, we made the bed the biggest bit because that's the bit you need, like, especially if you're going to live in it. But we got like 2 little seats and a table, got kitchen side and everything. I think you might be a bit tall for it. Like, I have to kind of.
Me? I've never been told that in my life. I feel dead happy. That's amazing. Somebody just called me tall.
It's a humbling van.
It was great when I went to look for the buses. I
Yeah.
took my best mate with me. His name's Jagger, and he's like 6'4", huge guy. So he was a great what's the word, leveler. I could work out nobody's
rule
going to
off.
be that tall coming in.
Yeah, so if he's big enough.
if he's ducking, I'm like, right, we'll have a think. But yeah, that's why we ended up with these two, to be honest, because it just
They
based
are
it all
really
on Jagger's
spacious.
height. Yeah.
Oh, these buses are mad.
It's been a real journey. The same with you guys. Like, how did you find out how to install stuff? And is there good electrics in there? Like, what's
Yeah,
that like?
we're running solar panels, so we're all
Solar,
off
cool.
off grid, and we've got a leisure battery. We've got a battery on the
Yeah,
front. We've got it hooked up so we can charge it while we're driving as well.
So are these all brand new things to you? Did you have to call up people? YouTube
Maud,
tutorials?
my girlfriend Maud, who's down there, she's
Woohoo!
she was the little PA. She'd study everything and look at all the videos and stuff.
It's
And
amazing.
I'd be like, right, I'm going to the wood yard. I'm going to B&Q. I'm going to Wigs. I'm going to Screwfix. I'm gonna get it. And then I'd be like, right, Maud, tell me how to do all this in 2 minutes.
Yeah. Do you know what? We have the exact same dynamic. Me and my partner. Chris is the brains, to be
yeah,
honest.
of course, the brains, and
Always
I'm the
telling me,
muscle. I
like,
have to be.
And I will be quite tenacious, so I get stuff done. But then she always reins me in when I've gone too overboard or
Of course,
putting
of
on
course. I
events.
think that's the job.
It's so important, isn't it?
Yeah.
You need somebody just to go, right, hang on a minute, and then they'll let you go and do your thing
Yeah,
again.
look at it from a bigger perspective. 'Cause I can get my head stuck in such a tiny little thing.
Have you had tribulations with it as well? Have you had moments of I don't know if we can do this, or has it been quite
Not really, because
smooth?
I've always been doing the van up and
Yeah,
stuff. No,
yeah.
it's because I quit my job for it as well, and we only had I gave myself 2.5, 3 months to be like, I need to get this van done. I need to get out of here ASAP. Because I'm living with my parents. I don't want to live with my parents.
Yeah, I get you.
And we've been living with him long enough already. Our house fell through. We was meant to move to in Nottingham again, so we was just like, we need to get out of here ASAP.
I genuinely love people like you and Maud and what you do. Like that, the energy you've got, the belief and trust that you can just make things happen whenever you want. You're like, yeah, we'll go out, we'll go around the world, I'll
Anything's
hit
possible.
festivals, and it's it's quite rare though. I don't know if you're surrounded with it all the time, but people, when I used to go to the Red Lion and have constant conversations with let's go travelling, let's do this, and it's I got so bored
It's 'cause
after a while because
People
never
put
do
too many
it.
commitments on them. That's the problem. If you've ever got a full-time job, you've got a full-time job because you're more than likely paying for something, or you've got to go and finance a house you got to pay for.
Yeah, man.
I think slowly I've had to cut them tires back and be like, I don't need to have this much money.
Was it quite scary to do that?
Yeah, I think I've never really I've had full-time jobs before, but they've kind of been full-time jobs when then eventually I've been like, yo, I need less hours. I can't hack it. Give me less hours.
What were you doing, just out of interest?
I did bar work. I was working as promoters for DHP and rescue rooms and stuff like that. I worked.
So at least there were sort of jobs where you're in an industry that you like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've always gone to. I've never liked doing the job, but I've always been around the atmosphere. So I've always had people that I meet. So that's why I've always been there.
That's good.
And then from that, I quit. Well, before I worked there, I worked freelance as a record producer. So I'd just record bands and stuff, hire studios. I used to have
flick this back on. There he is.
I used to have a home studio as well. My parents, luckily, which I spent all my uni maintenance money building.
What are your parents like, if you don't mind me asking? Are they quite?
Yeah, they're pretty open, support what I do. I think they've always just kind of sat back and been like, if Johnny wants to do his thing, just let him do his thing.
Because you've got a really good reputation. People around the area and motor mouth, but quite a lot of people are he's really good at what he does. He's a very peculiar individual, but incredible person. You've set things up. You do you. So hearing that made me go, right, I need to chat with him.
I've always just realised if you can't get into something, you've got to create something. So if you see something an artist and you're like, oh, look at him, he looks sick, he's got a whole posse with him, he's got this, that, oh, look at that skate group, there's no one that's really just jumped into that and then got the rep, the respect for it. I feel you can just, if you can create something from the ground up, and I like to give people opportunity. So when we did DLC, a lot of the people in the collective had never really done music before. I just literally been down at Snenton Market
So
skating,
cool.
been like, fuck me, man, you can spit. Like, what the
Yeah,
hell?
yeah,
Off the
yeah,
head like
yeah.
that. And sound, whoa, like with Dingers, Earth Kid.
Uh-huh.
He'd never been in a studio before. He'd never really done anything like that.
Wow.
So I was like, yo, come to the studio. I was like, yo, come to the studio. I was like, I've got a producer from Leeds as well. We've got a producer from Derby. We've got photographers, videographers.
Mate, you actually get shut, like, you
yeah,
get
and we had that
things
studio
done.
space, and Stuck on a Name.
No,
Studios.
I
It's
will have
literally
heard of
just
it. But...
behind Snettle Market.
Okay,
in the
yeah,
Rodin
yeah.
House.
I know exactly where you mean. Yeah, Stingray and the J band.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
have,
yeah.
like,
They've got a room there.
downstairs. They've got it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just had a room there that was like 24-hour access, and I had all my studio gear there. So I was just like, we was just there all the time, just partying, smoking, just bare
Mate.
people in there, and then we just go down to the Snettle Market skate, and then that was the life. And I literally just lived a 5-minute walk there. It was just like a little triangle that I could just walk. And
You seem like somebody that's literally always lived the life they wanted to live. Like, you've
Yeah.
not like second best for stuff. You're not just gone, do you know what, I'll settle here. You've done what you like. I like music, I like skate, I like this, but I'm gonna make it my everything. I'm not just gonna make it a hobby or something.
I've always told myself a job to earn money, like, it can't be priority, like, just to fucking, you can't live to earn money, like, that sort of stuff doesn't, I'd rather be just living on the street, like, literally, I'd rather be sat in, like, Snettle Market under the little bay corner window in the rain, like, with no money. If someone was like, yo, you gotta get a full-time job and you ain't gonna be able to do much music, even if someone said to me, you can't do much music, I'd be like, no, fam, like, you're mad.
Shoo.
Yeah, like, this is my lifestyle, skating, music, clothes, everything, it all ties together, and I'm not doing anything else.
I completely agree with you, man. And the thing, like, bits of my life, when I wasn't doing the travelling bits and I was trying to get money, I went and worked jobs like in this sort of rain now, and like just shoveling, like,
yeah, man, I can't.
Constant, like, coming back like after like 12 hours, and I've got no energy to do any of the passions that I've got.
It's not slavery. You're getting paid for it, but it's slavery to your body. It's ruining your body.
But a lot of the time, these jobs now, like, literally can be robot jobs. Like,
Of
like
course.
I worked at Thornton's for about a month.
Yeah,
I
I applied for a job there. They didn't give me a job.
Thank God, mate. I'm so happy they didn't eat your soul.
I was like, how the fuck did he get a job?
Yeah.
And I can't get a job. Like, when I used to work there, I knew people from school. I was like,
I
fam.
swear on my life, man, there was a moment I was at Thornton's, and I went, and I was probably 2 weeks in, maybe 3.
Yeah.
And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to be that person that makes the best out of any situation.
Yeah.
So I goes to work, I'm all like, right, let's have a good day here. And it was one of them, like, where everything kept building up. So I try and be like, hey, everyone. And they're like, what you looking at? So I like, go in my locker, put my stupid cloak on. I look like a Oompa Loompa. And then I got in there, and I thought, you know what? If nobody's going to talk, I was dancing on the aisle and sort of rapping to myself. I was like, yeah, just doing the thing, packing the chocolates in the boxes.
Like
and
Drop Dead Fred or something on the conveyor belts.
And I was having quite a good time for about 15 minutes, and I was getting my job done. And I swear to God, the boss come up to me like at Milo, and I always got in trouble there.
Yeah.
And he'd come and go, what you doing? And I was like, just packing chocolates like everybody else. And he goes, not like that, you're not. And I said, all right. So I was then sort of calm, and then I tried to talk, and he was like, come back round. He goes, right, come with me. And he put me, and I swear on my life, in a corner on my own, doing labels. So just putting labels on boxes. And I remember, this was when I quit, and I sort of had a bit of a cry. Like, I was like, you know what, this is fucking my life now. So I just shoved the boxes off. I needed like Rocky Balboa music on, but I just stormed out there. I was like, not today. And I like felt dead cool. And
that's what I'm saying, bro. You got to do what you do, and that empowers you to give you the motivation to do it as well.
But I feel like so many people, and I love my friends to pieces, but a lot of them have just succumbed to that's okay. And I think somewhat Mill Hill and education condition the mind to just go, you are going to be nothing jobs. You are going to do, you should be made to feel it's acceptable to do stuff for every day you don't want to do. It doesn't make any sense. Like algebra, when we're sitting in maths or whatever, and it's like, this does not feed my soul or brain in any way. But they'll condition you to a level of like, no, you should be doing that. That's how you should act.
This is the norm, and people get so sucked into that.
And then they can do jobs like that. That's how I see it. Because I just every step of the way I've asked questions. I've said, this isn't right. This isn't how
that's
humans
good
are
though. You've
supposed
got to
to
ask
be."
the questions, and you've got to rebel against it. Otherwise, you're not going to go forward, are you?
So were you rebelling at school then?
Yeah,
Were
of
you
course.
yeah, I love it. Who was the worst teacher for you then? Who got you hard?
Can't really remember any of the names.
Was
to be
Mr.
fair.
Dennison at school when you were there?
Mr. Dennis, is he like proper old bitter guy or?
He was ex-marine. He was history teacher. He was quite hardcore.
Did he have some proper goofy teeth?
No, that was Mr. It was he was Mr.
remember.
Dennis or something, but it was Mr. Dennison and Mr. something
I
beginning
can't
with D.
remember any of the names of the teachers really, but there was one of them that used to walk around, and she used to do like that on call. She had long blonde hair. And she used to just walk around all the time.
Just demanding
Yeah,
you
like
to...
just looking for people out of classrooms.
Yeah.
Like if someone had to get taken out of class, she'd come get them. But obviously, like, she would be chasing us around school all the time when we're not in lesson, like, and you have to hide, and she'd be like, "Oh crap, she's there!" We just have to run around. Like, man, she was like,
it was a game of like cat and mouse, though, wasn't it?
it
all
was,
the time.
and I can remember going there as like year 7. Is that when you start? Yeah, year
Yeah.
7, and where they had the old block. I think I kind of went there just like a year or two before they knocked all that, all got rid of it or boarded it up or whatever.
Yeah.
And I can remember being there, and there was like year 11s, and they were setting fires underneath there and
Mate.
smoking weed and stuff. And
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
"Yo, this is crazy." And there's like one of the teachers there. I think he was an IT teacher. He used to skate.
Okay.
And
Oh, what was he like?
I think he had a van as well. It was all graffitied up and stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I can remember like just being at IT lesson once, and he's like, "Oh, can I ever go on your board?" And he just took me outside and just like did like a tray, and I was
Mate.
like, "Yo."
I bet you listened to him in school. I bet he was the one.
Yeah,
who
but I mean, as soon as I got to like him, he moved to Australia.
Ah,
Literally, like straight after he moved to Australia.
there was literally like 2 teachers in school I liked, and both of them, when Miss Graham came in, got fired. So that sort of spoke about the philosophy and idea of that school, because one of them was Mr. Griffiths, and he was just really nice. And I was in the bottom set for everything.
He was really nice, he was.
And it's when he used to like put effort in. Do you know when he was
Try and
telling a
motivate
story, he would like do all the accents, he'd just get in, and I'm like, I like what he's about. And I remember he had a really emotional chat with me, because he goes like, "I've really like seen you come on a lot, like, you know, everyone said you're stupid or you're dyslexic, but I don't think you are.
Yeah.
I think you can do this." And just that conversation made me actually do really well in my English exam. And he again came up to me one more time and says, "I won't be here very long. The head teacher's had a word with me." And I was just like really distraught
They're
by
the
it
people
all.
that are valuable. They're the
Yeah.
people that need to be fucking teaching
Yeah,
kids, literally.
what we actually
They're
need.
the people that I'd only ever listen to because it was interesting.
Yeah,
Like, and if
it's
you've got
true.
people causing nuisances at school, what are you going to do? Slap them with a ruler, put them in the corner or whatever
Yeah.
like that? That's not going to do nothing.
Outside in the corridor.
Yeah, innit? Stupid, man. Like, education.
So getting back into the van then, because I am absolutely fascinated by it.
Yeah?
Like so you built this big bed. You've got a kitchen area?
Yeah, we've got 2 hobs and like a
2 little
sink
hobs.
as well.
Well, it's just amazing. And how far have you been in it already? Like, have you done little?
No, we've not been anywhere in it. I
Okay.
only insured it for one day. Like, just to move it from my parents' house to my grandparents. It's insured now though from a few days ago.
Are you really happy with the end product at them? Because I've not seen inside
Yeah,
yet.
there's still like tiny little cosmetic things we need to do, but we can just do that on along the way. We just need to get out of here ASAP in it, like.
That's it. Have you got a time schedule then, or a time frame of anything?
No, I just sold my car, and then as soon as I sold my car, I can get out of here.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
But I mean, when
We
you're
went
away as
over
well,
there.
like, have you got like a?
Well, the whole plan's kind of swapped originally
Yeah.
because of the time periods. We wanted to go in March, so we was going to go to Portugal, spend time, just practice art and graffiti over there and stuff, and just skate and make music. But obviously, it's going to be far too hot to be living in the van there when we want to go now. So we're going to go to northern France,
Okay.
meet some of Maud's, my girlfriend's parents, family or her family.
What will you do for money then? Have you come up with a
We're
plan?
going to be working freelance while we're over there.
Right. Okay.
So I'll be still doing online mixing, online mastering.
Oh.
And the plan I've literally, while I've been away for probably the last year and a half, I've been building a catalogue of songs. But what I've told myself, I'm not releasing any of these songs in the UK. I want to get out of the UK and then I'm releasing them. So
you're such an interesting person. I love it.
I didn't want to. I find it hard to motivate to push myself in the UK. I feel like every time I've gone out of the UK, I can proper big myself up. I can be like, yo, like look what I'm doing. Like I'm feeling empowered.
Yeah.
I feel like in the UK, it's not everyone's dragging me down. Just stuff's dragging me down here. Like the
Yeah, I
weather's
get
dragging
ya.
me down.
Yeah.
Mentality around me is dragging me down. Don't want to push myself. I'm not at my full potential, so I'm just gonna hold off.
Traveling really does like open that level for you, because what you're
Yeah.
doing when you're traveling is just meeting a load of other doers,
Yeah.
because they've actually like picked up bags and left. And
Yeah.
as soon as you're meeting everyone on that journey, they're all bigging you up. They're like, no, you can't. Like, let's just go. Let's go and
Yeah,
do
of
something
course.
else.
So many insecurities people around here that haven't travelled wouldn't talk about, but as soon as you go over there, that's just the norm. You'd be like, oh, I feel a bit awkward like doing this with someone, and be like, yo, you'd never talk to someone about that, just being with like someone you went to school with around here or something.
And the amount of conversations I have had with friends openly, and they're all like, I don't understand how you went travelling. I don't understand how you did it. Like, the only thing that separates us is I did it. And that's the only thing.
Get off your
'cause
arse and do it.
I was, with my mate, I was panicking. And I remember when we got in Australia, I'd had one of them shitty jobs, but I probably earned about $1,000 to take with me. And as soon as we got there, like, you can imagine, partying central.
Of course, yeah.
We were just like every night on it, and then I was like, oh, I've got about 400 quid left for a year. So we were like, okay, like, we need to get the jobs. But we did, like, the next day, we went to the hostel, we went to the board at the back, and we're like, right, what can we do? Picked a job, went to where you need to go to apply, and on the way we were like, yeah, we got the job. We got rang up, and it was like, yeah, you're in.
Yeah, people don't realise it is really easy to do anything. People are like, if I go to another country, I'm just gonna be stuck. I'm gonna be alien. It's like, no, you can integrate in, chat to people, and you will do whatever you want to do.
Build up this like pre-existing narrative.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
isn't. So
literally.
Yeah, when I get, I'm gonna be sleeping on the beach, and then it's gonna be raining on me, and I'll be crying in a corner, and you're just
That's
like,
what I'm saying. Like,
I'm telling you, man, get out.
In the past, being in bands, and like, I've always been like, if I'm gonna do a tour, like, because when you're in a band, that's what you want to do, tour.
Yeah.
Like, play shows and just be on the road for like sweaty boys in advance and whatnot. Like, but like the amount of times I don't want to play the UK, I'm like, if we're gonna do a tour, let's put the time in. We'll go to Europe and just. It's so hard to get people to be on board with that. There's sometimes in a band or
what's their usual go-to get me out or saying where they're like, oh, I don't think
they just don't think it's like, oh, it's not going to go through, the shows aren't going through.
Right,
it's like they just expect that it's all going to get booked overnight in like a week, and it's like, no, we need to plan to do this tour like 8 months to a year, like in advance. You can't just be like, oh, let's do a tour, like, because summer's coming around in a couple of weeks, like, let's go. Like, no, you've got to build the links with the contacts, you've got to keep chatting to them to reassure your shows are definitely going to go ahead. We've had times where it's like planned the show 6 months down the line, and it's like, oh yeah, the venue's shut down, or it's like the venue's gone or something. So we've had to move like a show into like a rehearsal space just off the fly or something like that.
And if you've got that mentality, if you've built up that idea, even when like you do hit snags, because you're always going to hit something.
Yeah.
You've always got the mentality to move around it. You can always go like, okay, now we do this, or now we do that. But you're still building towards that dream.
Yeah, you've just got to divert. If you can't do what you want to do, just divert it to do what you can do, and then once you've done that, you'll be there.
It's an admirable like asset that you've picked up on the way, and hearing that you've lived so locally, it's like, oh, I just like wished I'd have met you earlier on. Like, you could do it. But again, I do think like stars align and people just meet for whatever reason. Yeah. And it's just following your journey now, and I'll be more on it, and I'll be like, oh, respect. Like, and really, that is my motivation. Just seeing people do their thing. I don't need to always be around people.
No, just knowing
that they're on it. It makes me go, I can do mine.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of, I don't know if you've seen it, but there is like a lot of jealousy around places, and they're like, oh, I should be doing that. Or it's like, well, because they're doing it, that should just give you the thirst to do it.
Because they're looking at it wrong. There's loads of that around here, man. That's
perception
why people,
change.
Like they're just looking at it wrong. They're just looking bitter, like thinking they've been giving it to them. It's like, oh, they've had that given to them.
Yeah, that's a big saying. Like, everyone just think, and even if that's your belief, then all it means is you just got to work a little harder.
Yeah, trust.
Don't look at what people might have been given or how easy people might have had it, because nobody ever knows the full story.
Exactly. a lot of people around here or whatnot just think I'm a bum. Like a lot of my family probably just think I'm pretty fucking bummy just because I've not got a 9 to 5.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's that preconceived narrative.
Yeah, but it's like that's a huge risk of me not having a 9 to 5 and a stable financial life to go do what I want to do. Like,
beautiful, man.
It's an investment, man. I'll probably look at it when I'm in 30 and I've got like 10 million in the bank and I'm just chilling.
And remember, Jonjo, I knew you from the beginning.
Yeah, just if I got 10 million in the bank, bro, you're having half of it.
Hello, future me. Remember that we've done it. One podcast, and that was all it needed.
Trust.
So you're looking at Europe at the minute. Would you look at further in then as well after? Like, would you try and go Oz and all them places, or is there something about Europe you really?
Well, Europe, we just kind of wanted to get it done for meanwhile, because obviously we've still got access to there. I wouldn't need to get a visa if I was to work over there until Brexit anyway.
Yeah.
But we're going to be out there living until Christmas, and then we're going to go over to Canada for a couple of months.
You're literally living the life we've always talked about, me and Chris. Canada was the big one for us. I don't know why. I've not even been, but when I went travelling, every Canadian I've ever met are the nicest people I've ever met. They're just like, hey, I can't do accents, but I'm like, hey,
legal
how
weed.
you doing? Like, just beautiful people.
Yeah,
is that, do you think why it is? Like, do you think legalised?
But it does help. It brings a lot of people together if you are in a park. Like, people will just walk over if you're smoking and chat to you, and you can just be sat with a group of people like, yo.
So you've been there already?
I've been a couple of times, and Maud's been a few times.
Wicked.
I've been first time I went over Christmas, spent Christmas there.
Wow.
Not the Christmas just gone, the one previous. I went to Maud's parents. They live in London, Ontario. Where just Justin Bieber's from, Ryan Gosling.
Whoa.
But it's literally like the most cutest, perfect Canadian town. It's not like Toronto or a huge city or anything.
Right.
It's literally, it's got big buildings and stuff, but it's just...
When you go to the big cities, are they just living the lifestyles I can envision, like around big city areas?
Kind of like still Nottingham sort of mentality.
Yeah, okay.
Toronto, especially Montreal, because Montreal's a bit more French European vibes. Well, obviously it's Quebec, so they'll speak French in Montreal. But people over there, still the mentality as it is in Nottingham. Like, you could go to the skate shop, you still got your skaters chilling there. Obviously, I've got a lot of friends from over there as well, and I just see the groups that they're doing over there and the music, and they just go hang about with each other. I still feel the exact same, but it's got a hell of a lot better living quality over there.
Yeah.
Like, everything's a lot cheaper.
Is it like the bare necessities as well? Like, do you know when you go to them sort of like beautiful archetypal Canadian villages?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Is it they just get by? They've got, are they like log cabin stuff you in, or what? What's the?
Maud's parents' house is kind of like a very Canadian wooden house.
Wow.
It's like,
I love it.
Yeah, like we went to help them move in. Just before we moved out of Nottingham, we went over there for a bit to help them move in.
Okay.
And like, oh man, it was like crazy. Like, we just got there like the first day, they got the keys, and like we're walking in, and it's like, oh my god, it's got like a little spiral staircase and like all wooden. It's got everything, man. It's got the little porch, like Canadian porch.
Because I think as well, do you know areas like are there like wildlife, like bears and stuff around?
Not really around that area.
Okay.
You do get a lot of like bears and stuff. Tend to be like around the other side of Canada and around Montreal.
I always feel, do you know where countries are living in more animalistic nature? So they have got nature around them, and even like fight or flight attitudes. Like, they seem to be more relaxed because they're in pure nature. They're in pure like living space, and they're getting the like food requirements met. I don't know. Does this make sense to what I'm saying? It's like I feel. When I was in Australia, it was very laid back, and especially in the outback. Yeah. But it was like they were bare necessity. They were living in the necessities, and then they were also on edge a little bit because they were like, it could be a deadly snake or something. So it just calmed them down a bit. Yeah. We've run out of like real living in the UK sometimes.
It's crazy out there. Like,
concrete jungle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People out here that I think, especially like the UK is so dense. I think because Canada's so big,
that helps.
Yeah, it's got like, what's the population of Canada? Half the UK, and it's the second biggest continent in the world.
Yeah, me and Chrissy went travelling in New Zealand. And the exact same principle. The biggest, you could be driving for 7-hour days and you won't see one car.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Because it's like that, people are well more willing to accept people because people don't want to cause conflict because you're probably not going to see many people that often. So it's like, why would I want to be sat on here on my own?
Yeah.
If you're around here, people can piss someone off and a week later it's be like, oh, hi. It's like they've got so many different people in that week they could chat to and go see that. They just flicked out the brain and forgot about it.
I mean, again, I love where I live. I do think it's there's lots of greatness here.
Yeah, oh man, like, I love Derbyshire. It's
thriving. There's
got some mad places to go visit.
And again, like, I feel very privileged to be kind of out the way. We've got the farm, very lucky, like beautiful. Hidden, and it's like also in an area like 2 hours to London, 1 hour to somewhere.
Midlands, bro. Midlands is
we're in a
good
position, so I feel blessed for that. But the areas where I do see people living in central London all the time, it just, for me, feels when they get aggravated about it and angry and talk about it in a negative way, I try and always piece that together, and I'm like, maybe it just isn't normal living spaces. We shouldn't be in such like large communities where everything's like just so fast paced. It's just bam, 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 bam.
It depends how much you could take, innit?
Yeah,
like, it's a risk factor, really. If you're gonna live in the city, you know you're gonna not gonna be able to sit back and relax at all. You're gonna be on edge, and you're gonna be in the city probably because you're gonna want to do a career, maybe. Like, especially like creative. All the creatives want to go to the city just because it's a hell of a lot more accessible and it's more of a networking industry in city.
Did you ever do London? Is that anywhere?
No, I've always avoided London. Even so many times people have tried to offer me shows in London from being in bands and stuff, and I've been like, no, I don't really want to play London.
A song recently I heard, and it said all roads lead to London. And I was just like, interesting, because that is a big perspective of people. They think that's where you've got to make it.
No, not at all, man. You can make it from anywhere.
Yeah, man. I prefer that attitude.
Yeah. People that say that, I just never reminded, bro. They're going to get caught in that trap, aren't they? That's just like the American dream. Oh, I need to go get a piece of land with... Of
course, man. That's like where a lot of the hardships come from, like Make America Great Again.
Yeah, but once you're there, you're not happy, are you? You're never going to be there. And like, I know a lot of people that move to London. Like, luckily, you can kind of take it with the opportunity to go into university. You can kind of get a bit of money off your student financing. But if you're going to go live to London with not that, like, you got to be living a corporal job sort of shit.
Again, what I think it is, and I've had this conversation quite a few times now, it's the idea of making it. Yeah. And it's such an abstract saying, like Make America Great Again. It's like, what was great?
It just keeps going.
And when you go, I'm going to make it, where do you ever get to that part of your life where you're like, I've made it now? Is it when you're sat in a swimming pool? Is it when you're sat in a mansion? Like, I always feel when you built this idea up, you actually end up feeling very empty when you get to the end point, because it's like, oh, it was all just about the quest and the journey and the enjoyment of it. So the making it attitude's quite toxic around here. It can be quite dangerous when people are just on this path to get to this end goal.
Sometimes I don't really look at that and go, I just like literally look as it comes a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But sometimes it more tells me off for that, and I should do a lot more planning and stuff. But
a
lot of the time I get so, like I say, I like to look at the bigger picture, but I find it hard sometimes. So I just look at the small independent things. But if you fine tune those small independent things, like just you doing a gig, like rather than doing 10 gigs in Nottingham, you just doing 1 gig in Nottingham a year and just making it the biggest thing, and you'll sell it out. And you can have a pop-up shop there, and you can make it this whole special thing rather than doing 10 gigs, and people will remember that a lot longer, and they'll be like, yo, that's way sick. Like,
do you have merch and stuff then as well?
Yeah.
What's your brand?
Well,
plug it.
I did have all the DLC merch, but we've got rid of all that now. We did a run of we had a textiles artist that was part of the collective as well, which is Wes's girlfriend Fiona, goes by the name Trash Stitch.
Yeah.
No. Trash Feet on Instagram. Sorry.
Okay, I'll get onto that. We've got a little Instagram page me and Chrissy have done called Share a Piece of You. So just artists or local business we like, we share them on it. So I'll put that on there.
That's who's embroidered the jumpers for me.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's beautiful.
And Maud, my girlfriend's an illustrator, like graphic designer, so she's drawn it for me.
Right. Oh, mate.
She does a lot of
cartoons. So
Maud's
done that design there. Yeah. That's so cool. I love that.
I think I'll show you a photo later of it. But no, it's sick.
So, like, when you built the Different Life Collective, was your intention always to just have walks of all life together and just people like designers, artists, illustrators, all coming together?
Just looking at it, how actual industry works, and being like, why do I need to pay a PR company? Why
Yeah.
or why do I need to pay someone to do this like media base for me if I've got someone that's actually well into what we're doing?
You're sorry, I'm not sorry to cut you, but you're somebody who's obviously quite conscious of the industry, but also like have you had a lot of interest of people come to you and you've sort of had to say no, I don't really need a label? Because I can imagine you're quite known or quite like a figure in the industry. Have you had like opportunities that you've shut down?
Yeah, I think I do that quite often because I feel like I'm not where I am. I get quite not so much anymore. I've had a few recently from a track that I put out, but that's the first track I've put out in like 2.5 years or something. I put it out and I've had quite a lot of people messaging me about it. I used to be on a label when I was in a band and stuff.
Okay.
For a bit, and then the label kind of went bust, but they just gave us loads of money and we just spent it, so that's chill.
Sorted, that's cool. Because I know a lot of people that like early on in their careers and they'll just jump at a label opportunity or jump at somebody signing them. And I listened to a business podcast the other day, but it was just like what you really want is to be your own boss through and through.
Yeah.
You want to be it's so much better to be selling 100 CDs and making all that profit for you than selling 1,000 CDs or 10,000 CDs but getting like a percentage cut.
Yeah, no, of course.
It wants to all come back round.
Why would
you,
I pay a middleman to do that shit when I could do that stuff for myself?
It
like
seems
literally
very important because they'll promise you the world and then suddenly as soon as it goes wrong, there's legal ties. And
I am not messing with anyone that I don't see on a day-to-day basis or like every now and then and is a friend with me that chills with me like and we can chat on a friend basis. I'm not going to chat to a business guy in a suit.
Yeah,
I've had stuff like that. I've like labels before and stuff like that. We've had phone calls with them and stuff like that, and they've just sounded so corporate. I'd be like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, like, important.
Like, we've had like played shows before with people and they've like not paid us, and it's like proper business people. They've got bare money. They're running like big venues and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's been like, yo, send us this money now. We're gonna come down and put all your windows free in your venue, trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Like, had to like. There's too many people out there. That's what winds me up. There's people in the industry that are just snakes and rats. And when I work for DHP, like fuck it, I call them out at times. They're a good company. There's a good people that work there, but there are
people. It's the same.
Snaky,
like,
bro.
If we had this bus full of 100 people now, what are the chances that 10 of them are probably going to be knobheads?
Yeah,
it's a big chance. Like people can claim the calmest of intentions and like nicest of people, but as soon as money's added in the equation,
that's what I'm saying, bro. Yeah,
it's another game, innit? And it shows a real self to people. I really don't value money to the way that 90% of the people around me value it. I really don't.
Yeah, money's money. Money will come and go as long as you've got enough for your food and stuff like that.
You're getting where you want to be and what you want to do.
Trust, yeah.
I was just like reflecting recently on a documentary I watched ages ago, and I wanted to watch it again. I think it wasn't Marilyn Manson's Back on You. Yeah, it wasn't Marilyn Manson. Alice Cooper, I think.
Alice Cooper, yeah.
Have you seen the documentary?
I've not seen it, no.
His manager was called a guy called Chap Summers.
Yeah.
And he's one of these managers that there's David Beckham, the Dalai Lama.
Oh, he's a big dumb manager then.
Everybody knew. He didn't manage these people,
not manage them.
but everyone knew him. So there's people talking about him, and he's one of these people you would have never heard of, but everybody loved him.
Yeah.
And it's because he was just this crazy guy, but he knew how to get shit done.
Yeah, man. Have you seen like the Creation record label? Like obviously Oasis and all that stuff.
Okay, yeah.
The guy that ran that label, Alan McGee and stuff like.
Right.
He's the same, bro. He
Similar,
was just ginger,
new.
quirky guy that was like, we're gonna fucking get it done. We're gonna start a record label. We're gonna do it. I don't know how to do it, but we're gonna wing it and we're gonna do it.
If you've got somebody like that in your life, then that's perfect because that's just feeding your energy.
Yeah, of course.
Like Chap Summers to Alice Cooper would say, it doesn't matter what you do at this gig tonight, we're just going to cause carnage.
Yeah,
and then
of course.
When the, like we were saying in your story, that's why I reflected to it. It was like, at the end, when the manager of the club was like, I'm not paying you, they just had a big fight. So like, you are.
Yeah, of course. You've got to stand your ground, but like...
And he would like literally throw like dead rats into the crowd and blood and like feces or whatever. And it would like bring so much spark and outroar, and the critics would like talk about it. All it did was get people talking.
Yeah, of course, bro. That's what loads of people do. There's too many people out there that'll just do a clout track or do something just to get the attention.
Yeah.
As soon as I've done that, it's like, oh, yeah, look at me. I've got the attention. I can use what the hell I want now.
Yeah, it's interesting. It brought a thought out in me when I watched that. I was like, that's
yeah,
pretty
you've got to play. You can't play the like. you'll look at the industry and be like, I need to do this, and I need to do that, and that. It's like, you can do that, or you can do something that looks like that, and trick people, and then manipulate it, and do it in a sense, and people are going to listen to you a lot more because you've done it like that.
I tell you what, it's something I'm just fascinated about. I've got to a nice level in my heart now where I'm doing more passion projects. I'm just doing it because I literally love music, and there's nothing else.
That's the point of it, though.
I create it in that mindset now. I did get to a stage where it was my ego running the ship, and I was running around like, I want to get on stages. Oh, look at the views. That's cool.
Yeah, that's what I was like a bit in a band.
It was just too much hassle, really. It was just too much effort mentally to go through. Yeah. But as soon as I was like, do you know what? I'm going to get my own camera. I'm just going to ask my mates if they can create a beat, or I can learn it myself. And doing that, like, turn it into a passion project, it completely took all the weight off my shoulder. I was like, oh, fucking hell, I just love it. This is all I want to do. So then having that, standing back outside of the industry, but being like, it's quite interesting though. It's a bit weird, like watching people fully in it and like sort of like ripping each other apart to get to the top. I mean, I've got a lot of friends that I do feel are outside of that now, and I'm just doing it with the love of it. But you still, when you do see the battles happening, you're like, come on, guys, like, you're gonna be all right.
Yeah, a lot of people get blinded by it. Yeah. Like,
so you've had that part of your life as well, then?
Yeah, when I was more in a band, it was more about just living the rock and roll lifestyle. Just kind of, just wanted that image and stuff like that, and I did have an ego a little bit back then, so I think that's where the confidence did come. But I think after that, when I went solo, I was like, yo, I can't be that guy. When you're on a stage with 4 people, you can go crazy and you can throw your guitar around and spit at people and stuff like that.
What sort of like the biggest gig you've performed on? Have you been on any quite big bills?
Yeah, we played like a couple of festivals. We did Why Not before. Supported like Maximo Park before. Supported. Oh God, there's too many gigs.
What crowd are you performing to at that? Would you say?
Well, I'm crap with numbers.
Yeah,
capacities.
Say it's like 500. Like,
yeah, probably about 500.
And what sort? Because just again, I've played in front of quite big crowds, and I remember one at Happiness Festival. It's like 1,000. Yeah. But I remember just looking at, and it was a very enlightening moment. Like, not an ego moment, but just a moment of, oh, this is cool.
Yeah,
like,
it warms the heart.
Yeah, it felt right, and the cheer or the response, and it's like that's something I'm glad I've experienced. But then taking it a notch further that I've never had is in a band. Yeah. And that like lad, like fucking hell, we just created a vibe. Like everybody was in. Like, what's that like?
Like when I was in a band though, like. I had so much to do. I was playing the guitar, singing, and I had a huge pedal board, so it took so much mental thought. I had to black out for the whole thing. I literally, everyone would be like, "Yo, did you see that guy in the crowd do this?" Like, we played a show in Leeds once, and in the venue next door, there was a wrestling match going off. Yo, there's a video of this. I'll send you the link later.
Please do. Right.
The wrestling people come out of the match, come in our fucking room, and start slamming them on the floor, and I'm just there playing like this, and it's like everyone's in the room just looking like, what is going on? Mate. And after I played, everyone was like, yo, did you see them wrestlers come in and like
was
choke
that
slam?
Scheduled or
No, they just literally came from the venue like next door into our little room and just started choke slamming like that, and then there's a whole video that wrestling people put up that was filming it, and
this is
they
amazing.
Just like they come into the room and there's just us in the corner of the room playing in this like little gig room, and there's like there's people wrestling, and they come outside and he throws them on a table and they go back in the ring and stuff like that. It's crazy, bro.
Did you watch wrestling as a kid? Were you ever into that?
I used to watch it. I had friends that watched it. I'd watch it for the sake of being like, smash him up. But I'd never get massively into it and dedicated to it.
I was gonna say, because if you were like, you were literally living your little boy dream, then you was like fully.
But I mean, what I'm saying is, I was blacked out and I didn't see any of that. So people after the show was like, I wasn't like messed up or anything. I just had my eyes shut.
So do you really feel as an artist that you just go into yourself when you're performing?
Yeah, like I can't look at anyone.
It's probably
really.
The best way to be though, really. Do you know when you're really overconscious of what you're doing and like trying to create something? Yeah, it can become quite contrived then, can't it? It can be obvious that you're trying.
That you're trying, yeah. That's what I'm saying, literally.
Okay, that's cool. That's something I'll take out of this, and I'll be like, man, next time on a stage, just go. Like,
just feel it, man. Like when you're playing, obviously when you're talking to the audience and stuff, I try not to talk to the audience a lot. I kind of keep it nice and subtle and just say what is needed to say and just let them feel it, really.
Power. I mean, somewhat different as a spoken word artist.
Oh yeah, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah. I've only got my words.
Yeah, for
But
me.
yeah, going on like and just doing voice and like a cappella, like the bits in between sometimes really make it. Like if you do
Yeah.
like this poem's about, and then you can really sort of get into it. I listen a lot of artists that are very good at the preamble really feed their poems
Yeah,
with a lot
of
of like you're really listening. Then do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been to stuff like that. That's definitely moving if you can get the crowd.
Talk the
So, yeah,
talk.
talk the talk. Yeah.
But again, like it's such a fine tune and a creative art to like even podcasting conversation is a real art between it, like how you flow, how you work it, like pausing, everything's so important.
Of
So
course.
it's something again I'm really always working on and adapting, and I find like I've got a friend called Nick McCann who's a fantastic.
Yeah, I know Nick.
Do you know Nick?
From
He's
Ripley,
a
yeah.
wicked guy.
Yeah, he's a mad guitarist.
And again, because we're just so polar in performance, like he's the guitarist just going in like lost, and then you see me on stage and I've got to like try and create that but with my words.
It's because you've got to proper mentally think. I think if
Yeah.
I'm playing the guitar on stage, it's all muscle memory. I can not even look at the guitar, and it's I
Yeah.
can shut my eyes and feel. I know where I kind of am and stuff like that.
Mm.
It's a weird thing.
This
I
is
find it hard to use my brain.
yeah, it's true.
Live,
Maybe
like,
I
People
do
are like,
that.
"Yo, spit a freestyle, Jonjo," and I'm like, "Yo, give me 24 hours,
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
back."
I'll be home. Yeah, I think again because what I've got to do with a crowd a lot of the time, and again I've never done drama school really, so I've not learnt these techniques. You pick it up on the way, but you've got to really like read the vibe and look out for certain things as well. But then that's a balancing act because you've got to like not overdo it, like oh he twitched or like something.
Yeah. I think doing that though, I think you'll kind of, if you're not shown what to do and you go out and find it yourself, you'll craft so much of a better
Did you
character.
do that really?
Yeah,
Like,
I've never really had anyone there to show me. I've always kind of been on my own with music.
I tell you what the funniest thing is though, sometimes you do that and then you feel like you've discovered a philosophy or something. I'm like, I've got a new way of thinking, guys, and like Plato did that. It's like you gits.
Yeah.
I do it with a writing tool. I always like with rap or something. It was something really simple because again nobody showed me tools. It was like I found like I really like rhyme. So first of all I was just doing couplets. I didn't even know what couplets were, but I was like, this is cool, this works. And then I stuck to a formula, but then it became very samey. So I was like, oh balls, like everyone thinks I'm the same. So then a little introduction, I started doing like inner rhymes.
Yeah.
But I'd never heard of that before, and then everyone was like, "Yeah, that was quite a known thing back then." RZA sort of like came up with that. So yeah, I love learning it on my own. It's naivety. If you're naive, again, if you can't run around with too much of an ego, then I know a lot of people that think they know it all, know all the techniques, and then they're just a little. It comes across.
It'll come across. You'll see it. If they're really that good, they'll come across that good and they'll be successful from that, and people will see that. If you understand that, other people will understand that.
I like your style, man. It's cool. I'm looking forward to like the people you probably know in like your circle didn't know we knew each other, but will be like they'll probably watch this and find it quite interesting how it's come to be.
Yeah. Literally from
Hey,
around the corner.
Tom Buzz still, how you doing,
Yes,
mate?
Buzzy, yes,
Big
Buzzy.
shout out, mate. He was so really
Buzzy, I've had some funny times. I've known Buzzy as a very, very
we
young
had the
kid.
strangest time together at school because like again I just didn't get the humour or mentality of him, so I was always like
Buzzy.
I couldn't work it out.
Buzzy's
I thought
Buzzy.
I thought he was just trying to like make me feel weird all the time and like make me uncomfortable, but I was like so far out of the music mentality or the scene. I was like, do you want some, mate? Do you have a PCU? Because I got like basically asked to leave school at one point. I just did so bad there, but then they let me have another go at sixth form. But by the time I did that, all the cool people or whatever, like all the people I was hanging around with, left. So I was left in like with all the people like the Buzzies and that. We were still
I've probably
cool.
seen you around there, bro, because I can remember when Buzzy used to fight the fucking school kids. He used to wrestle the school kids on the sandpit. We used to have like WWE matches, and Buzzy would be wrestling like year 7s on like, the fucking sandpit while he's in sixth form.
I wished I would have been involved with it, but it was interesting. I'm looking to try and get like Buzzy and a few other people that I wouldn't have necessarily hung around with at
just
school to come on and just talk about like how did we all like in the same environment but navigate just so differently. So I'm looking forward to that.
No, that'd be a cool one. I'd like to see that.
Is that something you'd be interested
no,
to do?
of course,
Like just all them people back in the day where
just
you're
to see
like,
how different people have gone out on the paths
yeah,
as well.
it's
like,
cool.
Yeah.
I love podcasts for that. You just
Yeah,
like
of course,
find a
it's
bit and you're
just-
like, this is
You
interesting.
can just sit and chat forever, I feel.
And I want to, but my missus has got a she's just starting up a podcast
Oh, is
actually.
she?
Yeah, she's doing. We had this girl over the other day called Marcella Motivates. Really cool girl from Nottingham,
Yeah.
and they're gonna start talking about like, not sex, but like, yeah, different ideas. Maybe like pregnancy, like
Taboo sort of topics.
yeah, them sort of topics.
Small taboo
And
topics.
we had a long chat the other day, and it was like just how again conditioning makes, especially in our society, people act so weirdly towards
and they
it.
should be so blind to it.
If people don't conversate and don't chat about it, we just build up these horrible attitudes
Of
towards
course,
it.
and you're so blind to it. Yeah, it's
Mm.
mad.
So what's next for you then, man? Like, you've got the travelling. Just tell the audience and where they can find you and what's next.
Don't know, it's gonna be a long road. Like,
Quite literally.
yeah, just as much traveling as we can. I'm literally gonna, while we're in Europe, just go away, what's bobbing. I've got friends who run a record label over in Germany. Big up Dirk.
Do you think he'll be watching this?
Yeah, I'll get
Yeah,
him.
hey brother.
And,
Take me with you.
Yeah, and he runs a skate company and like a record label out there, so he's running a skate competition over there, and he runs a few artists. So we're gonna hook up with them artists, do some videos, some songs, meeting a guy from La Rochelle called Amor.
Amor.
How is it, Maud? Amur.
Amir.
Amoure.
And what's he do? Sorry.
He's a rapper from La Rochelle.
Right.
And I
Okay.
literally just found him on. He messaged me off SoundCloud from when I first released my.
Again, when people like diss the social media platforms, you've used it to an absolute
Yeah,
beautiful
because
tool.
I've grown up somewhere like this where I've had to. Like, I know a lot of people in the city. They're so more social. They go out every day and stuff. I feel like I'd love to have done that as a kid. I did do that as a kid, but I got to the age where I did want to take music seriously. And around here, nobody's doing that, so I had to sit on my phone and be on group chats and had to meet people and chat to people constantly online that was just from different countries, different cities.
So when you're suckered in on your phone, are you basically planning things instead of like just scrolling and getting involved in all the crazy?
Maud's always like, "You're not doing anything." It's like. I'm like, yo, I'm messaging people about something. I'm making contacts. I'll try and message probably like 5 to 10 maybe new people. Like, no, about maybe 5 people a day or 4 people a day. Just new people. Just be like, so if it's an art I've came across, even on my Explore, I'm like, yo, rate this. Like, this is actually really cool.
So what do people type in to find you now, just in case they're watching this? Because like
Jonjo Yano.
Jonjo Yano.
JonjoYano.
You know.
I
love
and
it.
it's Jonjo, you know. It's just off the tongue.
I can imagine like if people do watch it and they're like, you know what, I want to keep up with that journey, or I want to collaborate, or I want to work. Like you're somebody so approachable. It's just like, why we'll get on it.
Yeah, trust.
So you're gonna keep on creating while you're out there, because I think we should do a collab.
No, trust. Yeah, of course. That's what I'm doing now. Full-time music again. I quit my job to go do full-time music now.
Did you get on the Stingray and the J track?
Oh, I did, but I broke my interface. I wrote all my lyrics and everything. I've literally only just brought a new interface like a couple of days ago.
Man.
But I've got so many people like, yo, where's my verse at? And it's like I've not been able to record like at all. But I've got my interface now, so I'm gonna get back on it.
So what, like in the van, do you just prop up a studio then? Like you got a little microphone. Do you have a Mac or?
Yeah, I've got a MacBook in there.
MacBook. Microphone, what mic is it? Like?
I've got an Ashton Origin.
Okay, I've got I've always gone Rhodes, but
yeah.
Okay.
I used to have way more mics when I worked as a freelance producer. I had like a whole box just full of really nice mics. I had some really expensive ones, but I was like, yo, I'm getting skint now. I need to sell these. When I left freelance, or slowly cut out freelance because I was putting too much time in other people's stuff. I was like working with bands on projects and being like, okay, let's proper get into this. How do you want to sound? I can help you do a bit of promo and branding with it as well if you want. And you make good money out of it and stuff, but eventually I was like, I need to put this into myself. This is a risk I had to take, and I had to cut a lot of money out from earning from that. But I feel like it's grown me a lot more. I think I've had to sit back and work on myself rather than as a person as well. I've had to do a lot of things for myself, and push myself a lot more.
It's funny when you do live outside the box, or when you do the unconditional path. You learn so much more about what you're capable of and who you truly are. Because if you live in a conditional path, you're constantly living in condition. So you're like working out how everyone else is doing it and doing that.
That's all you worry. It's a worry, isn't it, in your mind?
You get crafted to what is by your surrounding. But as soon as you're like, no, I'm going to do this, it's A, really scary, B, very hard, and C, like, you make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
But eventually, when you've done all that, it's so much more rewarding. It's so much more, like, beautiful on the other side, because you know it's you. You know who you are after.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's like the hero's journey, isn't it?
Yeah, like, you just, I've had to always just go for it, what feels right in it. And I mess up all the time. More does it going for me messing up all the time. Like, I mess up all the time. I misplan stuff. I do stupid stuff, but I just go at it with aim of 100%. Like, yo, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. Like, I don't care.
Honestly, like, I've got the nicest partner in the world, like, ever. Like, well, sorry, maybe we both have. My Chrissy is just an incredible person, and again, like, she's picked both paths. Like, she does her, but also she's like, but I need to have stability.
Yeah, of course.
Which is perfect, and I need that to rein me in, to let me be out and do stupid. But on days where I've done a whole day's work for somebody and I'm learning the camera, and then I've shot it in the wrong shutter speed, or because with filmmaking in particular, as soon as you made a mistake, everything, the whole day is ruined.
Yeah, of course.
And then she's got home and I'm like, fuck my life. Like, what's the point? I just shut the laptop down. Like, the amount of times this has nearly been outside the window. But again, like, to have a partner like that who gives you the freedom but also tells you to stop being stupid is so important. It balances me out, because if I had somebody that wasn't like that, or just like let me do it fully and didn't go, come on, calm down, don't be an idiot, it's just, I'm trying to reflect, it was so important to have that side of myself.
Of course, yeah. Maud plays a massive role.
Yeah.
Like, Maud's made me grow as a person loads.
You're all right over there.
Maud tells me what's stupid, what's not. She actually has.
Mate, what do you think?
Yeah, she tells me what's stupid and not, because I'll do anything. Like,
yeah,
like, I do a lot of stupid stuff, like I said earlier.
So are you two gonna document the whole journey as well? Are you gonna try and make sure people can catch up with you?
Probably just do that mainly off our Instagram page.
Yeah,
we're probably gonna start using. Not really been posting much anymore around here, because there's nothing that's worth posting unless, like, what, it's raining, wow.
It will, again, if you do, like, if you set up something, we'll be following it, because I love what I've tried to do now with my social media, and I've had to delete quite a few people, but I'm just filling it with people that are doers and thinkers and looking forward, and I want to just keep opening up, like, content and being like, it fills me with get
when
on
I see my friends or people that I know doing stuff in other countries, I'm like, oh, that's sick. That's what makes me want to get up and do that now. Like, I could do that as well. Like, sick.
Are you going to go to Berlin on your travels?
Yeah, probably going to go around Berlin.
Man. I remember going there with Chrissy, and I think we're there, like, because she's German, so, like, all her family from there. But in about 3 days, we've met so many people that were just like, oh, you guys would love to come here, come to that. I was like, I think I found home. Like, such a vibing place. Like, again, I'm not very artistic, but a guy was like just letting me do some graffiti and things. Sick. And I was just like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, man, that's what I love.
Go and talk to anybody. And back here, it can be quite, oh, what are you doing? Don't do that.
I think that's another reason why I've always been like, I want to always book shows European and UK, just because you can go to a venue and the hospitality is like on a completely different level. You get to the venue, it's like, oh, hi, there's all this food we've just made for you. Here's your hotel room for the night.
Wow.
There's like, whatever you need, just call me on this number. I'll be your rep for you. Like, you come to the UK, it's like, yo, we might pay you, we might not pay you.
You've got to get me a nugget.
Yeah, it's like, can we get a drink, please? It's like, yeah, here's some tap water. Like, fuck. Actually, we played a show with DLC the other week, and I don't drink anyway. I've not drunk for like about 3 years now. And the guy was like, oh, I'll get you some drinks. Well, he didn't say that. I was like, can we get like some drinks or something? So we're playing like quite a big show, and we had to pull a lot of people, and the guy wasn't already paying us already. So we was like, can we get some drinks at least? He's like, and ahhing for ages. He's like, oh, how much have we got in the budget? He's like, yeah, I'll go get you a couple of cans of beers. I was like, no, I was like, we want loads of Coke. I was like, I was like, we don't drink, we want Coke. I felt like a proper boss. Like,
Yeah.
oh god, it's like, oh god. He tried to give me the money, and I was like, no, bro, you're going.
Oh, bless. It's weird, like the amount of people that want free. Like,
Yeah,
want
this guy's
you
just
to
sat on his
perform for
arse,
them.
and he was like, literally just sat on his arse on the door, and he just looked morbid as fuck. Like, he was the promoter, he just did not speak to me at all.
Yeah.
I introduced myself as soon as I got there. I was like, yo, I'm Jonjo, I run the collective, you need me, whatever. Like,
Putting on gigs now, like just down here, like again, I've had friends, and the incentive is to get like it's like an NPR session, isn't it? So they have like a film done,
yeah.
so they'll come for free. But even that like plays on me. So I come in and I'm like, guys, I'll get you free drinks. Like, what do you want? And we don't really make any profit on the busking sessions we do, but it just promotes it well and it looks cool. So again, going to be a performer and being around good and bad hosts, really, it's so important.
I've put loads of shows on. That's what kind of I did when I wasn't playing music for a long time. You know, JT Saw in Nottingham.
Yeah.
I used to put gigs on there when I was like young, for like 18, 19.
Nice.
I put gigs on there for years, like loads of punk emo bands.
I think the best scene in the UK that I've been to is Nottingham. I just love it. I really do.
So small and tight.
I know there's beautiful all around, but like where I felt most at home has always just been the Nottingham scene. They're so like welcoming.
Yeah, it's really accessible and people are very open-minded there. It's very multicultural as well.
Beauty, man. Honestly, when you do get back, do you think you'll come back and like tell me all about the travels and what you've been on?
We're not planning on coming back.
Oh no, this is it then. Right, you're staying for another few hours then. This is it. The Different Life Collective going to carry on then?
No, we've got so much material done. Like we've literally got like probably 30 songs that we've just had sat for so long, and it's been like and ahhing about what to do with it. And
right.
I know it kind of just slowly went as I kind of started to I kind of wanted to work on my own solo music, and I was putting a lot of effort into it.
Sure.
There was a lot of people. It was very draining, and I had to do a lot of the admin stuff. And
I get you. Yeah.
So I was like,
it is
I was moving away as well, obviously. So
as a solo artist, it's so much more pleasurable. I've been on business adventures with other people and as soon as it just became, you know what, I am the judge and executioner of my own life, my own existence, my own artistry. It becomes so much easier.
All
because
control. You ain't got to worry about decisions. That's
if it doesn't come out, if nothing happens, it's your fault. You solely have to deal with that.
Yeah, I feel like I've been in bands before with 4-6 people, but being in a collective with about 16 people, and trying to lug everyone around, get everyone to shows. And if we got to do a show like to London, we've got to take like 3 or 4 cars. Like it's stupid. And it just it got too much.
It is beautiful.
I love everyone, and I tried to get everyone. I built the collective together originally because I wanted this to be an outlet for all these people to release their own solo music as well. So I did like artist development with a lot of them.
That like that, haven't they? Like, a few people I know. Is it Oliver? Like
Ollie Rees.
Ollie Rees.
Ollie Rees
what a
is
guy,
man. Big Ollie Rees.
Incredible. Like, hey up, mate. And I did a little collaboration with him actually, but just the amount of people I've seen blossom through what you created or what's been created. They're doing their own. A lot are doing their own thing, aren't they?
Yeah,
so you should be proud of that.
That's what
made.
I'm saying. Like, I'm just glad to see it. I'm really happy when I see people doing their own stuff.
Just a moment, isn't it? A moment that's been and it's created so much for everybody else, and opportunities come from that.
Yeah. It's like, as Dingers will say, like I was the puppet master for everyone in DLC. Not everyone. I know Ollie and Motormouth before, but Dingers especially and Queez. We try and. Them guys, they've got music on the way.
Well, just giving them stage time and presence, like the amount of confidence that gives you to like somebody say, right, no, you're coming up with us, you're getting on it. I do feel always I wished I would have had that a little bit, like just somebody like push you up and you're like, okay.
I just like because it was people that I've been doing music for years, so a lot of time when I was playing in bands, it's people that have been playing millions of shows before, but because these people had never played a show before, I thrived off that so much. I felt like a kid playing a show again, and because I was doing music that was really high and energetic, we had a DJ, we had a live drummer, and we had mans ripping the t-shirts off, jumping on each other, and there's like 10 man just shouting at you in your face. Like, it just felt so like mad. Like,
Well, I tell you what, the one thing I've got though, I look forward to coming and seeing you wherever you are. I can just get in touch and go do you need a filmmaking?
That's
like,
what I'm saying, bro. If
you
ever want to come out for a holiday and you're
Oh,
bored
mate.
here, bro, just give me a bell, see where I
We'll
am.
be there, like me and Chris. You're living our other life at the minute.
Parallel life.
Yeah.
We're just a little bit ahead of you, so just message us for an
we've
update.
Got the buses, so we are tied to something because it's sort of building up. We've created a community interest company, so
Yeah.
we're hopefully going to have like the area is going to thrive from it.
Yeah.
But as soon as when it gets to like calm down season or we've got something not on, we do want to just get a little van like yours, do it up and go travelling.
Of
That's
course,
going to be
man.
our other aim. So
Yeah.
I'll
Get
be
out of
coming
crap
over.
weather.
Oh, and this drives perfectly, so yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what ferries take buses, but I'm sure there must be some.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm
Is
sure
it-
you get coaches on there.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Huh? What? Oh, fright. Fuck that.
What was that? What?
Like cargo.
Yeah. Again, I
Well,
was.
surely you could take a bus on there because I've been on coaches on a ferry.
Yeah, I think well, they've taken this all over the world. Where we got this from, the one we're on now, is it started out in America, obviously, and then it's got Stagecoach on the back because it was used in BBC for like some of the. There was like Educating Essex or something, I think it
Wow.
was. But they're on this bus, so it was in Wales and it's been to Portugal and
That's mad.
it's been all over. So yeah, I know it happens. I've not ventured that far yet. I'm
Yeah.
like, let's get a business first.
Have you drove abroad before? Like out of the country?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
done driving all over, like New Zealand, Australia, everywhere I've been. I've had to drive somewhere,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
and it's just fine, really, isn't it?
It's just sick when you're in Europe and you could just drive to just a little like hour or two and you can be in a different country. It's just so accessible and you can just see a different culture like every day if you really wanted to.
I was beautiful. I did end up upside down in Australia in a car
Oh,
once.
shit.
That wasn't so fun, and that was just just being clumsy. I wasn't thinking like
Yeah.
I was in another country, and it was like there was a lorry driving really close, and they're a bit wild in the outbacks.
I can
And
imagine, yeah.
I just went a bit this way. I don't even know if my mum and dad have ever heard this story, but it was like it was a little like trench, and we went into it, and then it just flipped the car. It was, yeah, I've been upside down in too many cars.
I've never crashed a car, touch wood.
Touch wood, man. And you've done enough driving over.
Yeah, I've done quite a few tours over there. I've drove vans before and
I
drove
love
vans and
it.
stuff. Yeah, I love it over there.
Every
man.
opportunity, you are literally in the unknown. So every moment of being like, right, we stop off, we check out this town.
It's all different, isn't it?
Perfect, man.
Like the tour that I did with the guys from Singapore, I drove them to Prague and then they had to fly back from there. So I was just on my own. I had to just drive back, and I was like, I can just stop at the German Black Forest for a little bit. I stop here for the night, so I just slept in the woods there. Drove
Wow.
back. I stopped to friends in Brussels. Big up Slow Crush as well. Them guys are getting big now.
Have you ever felt like ropey where you've been? Have you ever had them moments of like, oh, I've fucked up here?
Not massively. I think I got to the ferry when we was going out of the UK with all the Singapore guys, and it was like, yeah, here's my ticket, and it was like, this was for yesterday, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, because I had to buy a ticket there, but
Okay,
nothing massively.
that's cool.
I never really.
Just
I've been in
kept your
some.
wits.
For some people, they'd probably say, "Oh man, you must really in that fucked up situation," and I'd be like, "No, I was chill. That wasn't too bad. I've been worse."
I remember in Joburg, like when I was living there, and I was getting on my own, but with a different partner at the time,
Yeah.
and that was ropey as
Where's that? Sorry.
Johannesburg.
Oh,
yeah,
crap.
it
Fuck
was.
yeah,
Like,
bro.
we would like only like white people in this like where we were going on this bus, and I remember I saw like I looked outside and there was literally a dead body, and it hit rigor mortis, and I was like, we're in some like dangerous place, and this guy came over and he literally just went, "You're not safe here." And I remember that was where my stomach like just dropped down here, my heart in my stomach. And I remember he said, when we get off here, you've got to follow me. So I followed this guy, and it turned into carnage. It was a massive, and
That's
again, that was
crazy.
just a moment of not keeping my wits about me. I was being a bit,
Yeah.
just naive again. Just like, no, when everyone used to tell me, like, you can't go there, you can't go there, I was like, I can go where I want. And there
Yeah.
are actual, like, times where you got to just listen to the
Yeah.
people around you.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I've friends from Singapore. When we went over, they took us over to like Malaysia and stuff, and I think we went to some pretty weird places over there. But like, luckily them guys were there. They're kind of as a guide, you know.
It was a funny on this one tour we went on again, just to some of like the shanty towns and stuff in South Africa, and we went with a tour guide, and he literally said like, if I'm not with you, you will be killed. Like to that extent. He's like, these areas, like some people really want you here, and you're bringing in money and you're doing this, but like there are other people that run the shots, run the scene, and if they see you without me, we're over. So it was like crazy. I love that again though. Like I love being in like
the feeling
what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I miss it so much. I miss that like constant like what's next.
Yeah, I've never had anything too life or death.
Well, I hope you're all right, mate.
Yeah.
Right, I know I've got a world to live in. You've got a world to be. I really hope like I do come over and see you. I think
you're always welcome, man.
I've got a nice camera. I've got loads we can like work together, collaborate. If we make a song and it can be quite reflective of like what you're doing, what we're doing, I think there's something out of this, isn't there?
Yeah, trust me, I'm game for that.
Mate, I love you. Yeah, this has been genuine. Right, brother. Guys, what a guy. Where can people find you again?
Jonjo Yano.
Jonjo Yano. So thank you again. If you've joined us all the way, hello.
Yes.
Big love. We're on the back of the bus sessions, the Old Farm bus. Jonjo, it's been a pleasure, man.
Thanks,
Peace
man.
and love, guys. We're out.